What's up, Barks? You fired up for your high school game tonight? Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, excited. That's why I'm starting a little earlier today, just so I'm not gonna have as long a stream today. But oh yeah, dude, I'm really excited. Really excited. It should be a good series too. I mean, the Walker school is good. Walker is good. They have a solid team. What's the series right now? It starts tonight, so it's a doubleheader tonight at 4:30, and then if we go to a game 3, we play tomorrow. So it's a doubleheader tonight. All right, we're going to pull up some of the weekend's series coming up. See what the best series. Good morning / afternoon. What's up, Cap? What is up? Man, these ads are just killing me, man, that pop up. Thank you. So we do have some games tonight. I may do a stream tonight. Just depends on what time I get back. Why doubleheader? Yeah, I think it's just to get to not make it like last 3 days. Canes. I don't know really why. I just think it's because they want to. I don't know. That's just what it is. 3-game series that stretches out 4 days. Yeah. So we do have some games tonight. We got Texas, Arkansas starting tonight at 7, and then we have a. I don't know if it's a doubleheader, but it's set. Or no, it's not a doubleheader. Sorry, Louisville and Notre Dame, who again Notre Dame's playing really well. They're 10-14 in the ACC right now, so Notre Dame's kind of surging, but they're gonna have to finish really strong, right? They're gonna have to finish 5-1 probably to get in, and even then it may be tough. I'd have to look at their RPI. But they're 10-14, like they still have a chance. Okay, so obviously one of the marquee matchups this weekend is Clemson, Florida State. That is obviously a battle of the 2 highest ranked teams in the ACC. Clemson got swept by NC State, so they went from 13-5 to 13-8, but still were number 3. And I actually read. I think it was Kendall Rogers or one of the D1 baseball guys. Their explanation for Clemson not dropping very far is that was their first weekend series loss all year. I'm pretty sure that's what was said. So Clemson, they basically were like, Clemson, that's their first weekend loss all year. We're not going to drop them in a big. They dropped one spot. They didn't even drop them like a few spots, which I think you could have dropped them to 5 or 6. But I agree with that. I think, listen, you've lost one series all year. You're a top 5 team, and you're in the ACC or the SEC. You're in the top 5 in the country. So then, and Florida State, literally, they haven't lost a series all season. Yeah, well, I mean, they did last weekend, but up until then, yeah, you're right. They hadn't lost one series. Coastal Carolina, App State. Coastal Carolina is 100% in the hosting category right now. But they again, when you're a mid-major, even in the Sun Belt, you got to finish strong. So these remaining, they got 9 games left in conference. So, like this, the thing is, the thing that's tough for mid-majors is Like there's very, very little margin for error. And so for Coastal, it's all about like finishing strong, right? If they just win the remaining series, I don't know who the remaining schedule's against. We can look that up. Let's see here. Dude, Miami is gonna have to like finish incredibly strong to host. I'm not saying they can't. They definitely have the ability to do it, but they have to finish so strong. They have to finish so well. All right, so they face App State this weekend. University of Louisiana Monroe the next weekend, and ODU. So they actually have a pretty favorable finish in the Sun Belt. So I think everything considered, Coastal Carolina looks like as long as they play like they have, they're gonna lock up a host spot. Especially they play Clemson this coming Tuesday. If they win that game, oh, of course, yeah, they're definitely in the hosting category. Okay. So I think Coastal's in the, I think Coastal kind of has it in the bag right now. Because even if they lose to Clemson, that's not going to hurt them. All right. Okay, Kyle, loved your post calling out that hitting instructor. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, you see posts like that, and you're just like, how many kids has this guy ruined? I think he's a teacher man guy. Maybe not. Founder of Wheelhouse Training. I mean, like, you just watch this swing. I'll pull it up for you guys. Just watch this swing. It's literally terrible. And we'll slow it down to like half speed so we can see it. All right, let's see. Let me slow it down to 25 speed. So the whole point of a swing, guys, first of all, look, his weight is his head is almost behind his back foot. His weight is so far back. I mean, this is a terrible position. And the whole point of a swing is for this bat right here to get on. If this is a fastball coming like in this general, let's call it this general path. An elite swing gets on plane like right here, back here. And then it stays on plane out here. That's called depth and length out front. Now watch this swing. All right, so he's underneath the ball back here. He's way underneath. And then watch where his bat goes once he makes... First of all, this is a top spin. This is a terribly hit line drive. It's like a top spin line drive. It's not how you want to hit a ball. Look at where the bat is after contact. His bat literally goes like this. Boom, straight up. Which means if he's out front at all, timing-wise, he misses it. And if he's late at all, he misses it. Here's... You want to know how to know if somebody has a good swing? If you see them, even when they hit it off the end or they get jammed, it's still like a soft line drive. That means they have a really good swing. That means they're on plane deep. They're on plane out front. And this is like the total opposite of that. This is just like, look at this. Look at where his swing ends up. I mean, this is like one of the worst swings I've ever seen. And this is a guy who's teaching kids how to hit. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's just like, it's one of those posts that you have to, like a person with my experience and in the position I am where I work with kids and stuff, like it's just, you have to call that out. I mean, it's just unbelievable. That swing is rollover written all over it. Yeah, I mean, that's going to create nothing but swing and miss and top spin rollovers, 100%. Yale is a 4 seed and number 1 seed is a 4 seed no number 1 seed will want in their regional. Yeah, Ullman, whose dad pitched in the big leagues. They have a legit ace that throws 94, 97. He's pitched like 60 innings with 72 strikeouts and only given up 6 earned runs. Yeah, no, 100%. If Yale ends up being a 4 seed, which I don't know, like I'd have to check if they have a chance at large. I doubt it, but they're probably picked to win the Ivy League. Yeah, nobody wants Yale in their regional with that arm, because that's a legitimate arm in game 1 of a regional that can beat you. Right? The issue is that most number 4 seeds do not have like an SEC or an ACC caliber, like legit, and even a lot of ACC and SEC teams don't have like that legit ace. Yale has a legit SEC ace as their Friday guy, a legit ACC ace as their Friday guy. So nobody wants Yale in their regional, simply because you're not worried about you're not worried about. Well, they have the depth to beat you in 5 games. No, they have the guy that can beat you in game 1, and then you're the 1 seed in the losers bracket. That's the issue. And you're 100% right, Zach. That may be the 1-4 seed. If Yale gets the 4 seed, like whoever gets them in the tournament is going to be pissed, because that's a legit arm, and he's just a freshman, dude. He's going to be ridiculously good. Tony Gwynn would vomit watching that swing. 100%, Berg. 100%. I mean, it's terrible. And the fact that, and I said in my tweet, I said, 0 depth, 0 length, bats never on plane. Anyone who watches this clip and says it's a good swing has no idea what they're talking about and should never be teaching kids how to hit. Man, this is bad. Absolutely no room for error with timing, which equals a bad swing. But it's 100%. What's up? That looks like a rollover ground ball to shortstop. Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing that swing can produce. The only thing that swing can do is, if it's perfectly timed, it's going to hit a ball hard in the air, right? If it's perfectly timed. But if the timing is off in either direction, it's going to be swing and miss or like really bad contact. It will also force the 1 seed to throw their ace. A lot of 1 seeds don't throw their ace against the 4 seed. Yeah, you're right. They have to win their conference. 1 seeds better root for someone else to win the Ivy League. No, 100%. And Canes is right. I mean, the Ivy League does have like some sneaky, really good arms, but Ullman is, I think, in a league of his own. I mean, he's disgusting. Like, he could be a front end rotation Friday night guy at like big SEC, ACC schools, no doubt. Like, he's got elite velocity, really good command. He's just in a league of his own, I think. He's one of the best freshman arms in the country, but it's not even close. Let me make sure I turn my volume up in case I get a call or a text here. All right. So Ullman on the year, in 9 starts, 10 appearances, he's got a .89 ERA, .82 whip. .82 whip in 9 starts. 60 2/3 innings, only 33 hits given up, 17 walks to 71 strikeouts, and a 160 opponent batting average. Like, this is the one guy you do not want to have to face. And I think, listen, Yale's 13-5 in the Ivy League. They're going to be heavily favored to win just with their pitching alone. Their pitching staff is throwing to a 3.75 ERA. So just in general, I mean, their pitching is very good. Offensively, they got a 285 batting average, not hitting for a lot of power. They got 18 home runs in 38 games, decent amount of doubles, decent amount of triples. But they're OPSing almost 800. So as a team, I mean, listen, the pitching is really good. And it would be a massive upset for them to win a regional if they get to be a 4 seed. But like, again, what you're worried about as a 1 seed is, like, you just don't want that 4 seed to get in that has a legitimate ace, that has a guy that can shut down your offense, because then anybody can win the game, right? If you're playing in a 1-run game, all it takes is one, dying quail or a dink or, a little dinky hit, and you lose. I still have I still have Episcope over here. I'm praying we can get him from Princeton. Andy, 6 foot, 175 pounds, PG9 rating, number 4 right-handed pitcher from Arizona. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, yeah, he's going to be really good, dude. I mean, he's a freshman. Listen, he's 6 foot, which is fine. And he could probably put on another 15, 20 pounds. But like for where he's at right now, again, this is the other issue in development. Like he's already throwing 98. So like, how about we just refine and get stronger, not try to like blow everything out of the water, which again, he's got a dad that knows what he's doing. So I don't expect anything like that to happen. But yeah, I mean, he certainly is just, I mean, he's a monster. He's a monster. And like, that's one arm you do not want in your regional. I did see, let me actually look here because D1 Baseball released another bracket. And I think they had Yale going to Georgia. Do you think he may transfer to a larger school? I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I think I think, to be honest, from Murph, I can't even say his last name. Episcope, former ESA client. So Canes, take it easy, all right? Take it easy. Thank you, Murph, for that detail. But I don't see him leaving Yale. I think again, you know, maybe like Buck saying his velo was a little bit lower out of high school. So maybe there's a chance. Maybe he didn't, out of all the options he had, again, if he's 89, 92 out of high school, I'm sure he had other options besides Yale, and they may just really value the education and kind of the opportunities that provides. And obviously with a dad who's played in the big leagues and knows what he's doing, he knows if he's got the stuff, it doesn't matter where he's playing. It doesn't matter where he's pitching, but we'll have to wait and see. Who knows? But that is one guy you do not want to have to face as a 1 seed in your regional. That's a regional ruining type arm if you lose that first game. Because everyone knows as a regional, like the game, like it's just if you win the first 2 games, you are set. You are set. If you avoid the losers bracket, and it's easier said than done. But let me see where they had. I'm like 90% sure they had. Yeah, so D1 Baseball, funny enough, had Yale going to the Georgia regional with Georgia Tech as a 2 seed and Stetson, who we've talked about, is like, you don't want Stetson in a regional. You don't want Yale in your regional. Like this is like nightmare fuel type regional for UGA. If that were to happen, you got like one of the best offenses in the country that matches up well against Georgia. And then you got Stetson, another really good offense and really good mid-major. And then you got Yale, who's got, you know, one of the best freshman arms in the country who you're going to have to face game 1. He went to the elite of the elite high school in Chicago. His family's very well off. I doubt he would ever leave Princeton. What regional is Yale projected to be in? Right here. Yale is projected to go to Athens, Georgia, which that'll be a culture shock for the guys from Yale. But yeah, this may be, like, let's say this happens. This is like probably the worst possible regional for a 1 seed out of all the regionals. Like it's definitely one of, if not the best. Or at least one, not the best, I mean like the most difficult. Murphy says, yes, he worked with our Midwest advisor and was a late add to Princeton by Russo. Yeah, we'd have to get Jeremy on here, Murph, to talk about it more. Or at least the schools he was considering. Yeah, White House. So how it works is game one is your 2 seed versus your 3 seed early in the day game. So like typically it's like 1 or 2 or 3 o'clock, whatever it is. And then following that game, like a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours later, is the 1 seed versus the 4 seed. And so whoever wins this game, the first game, Georgia Tech of Stetson, faces the winner of the 1 and the 4 seed. And ultimately, whoever wins that game is locked in for the regional final. Then the loser of game 1 faces the loser of game 2. And whoever wins that goes on to the next game. So basically, if you win the first 2 games, you're set because you're going to play a minimum amount of games. The guys in the losers bracket are going to ultimately have to play like 5 games, and it just becomes it just becomes a nightmare, right? As far as pitching depth and everything like that. So, like, let's say Yale lost and Stetson lost. Yale and Stetson would win or would play, and whoever won that would play the loser of Georgia Tech. And so then whoever wins that game goes on to play Georgia, who's 2-0, and then this team would be 2-1, and it's double elimination. So then, like for Georgia Tech, let's say Georgia Tech makes it the regional final, they have to beat Georgia twice in a row. So ultimately, they play 5 games, bullpen shot. I've coached in those games. I've played in those games. I mean, in that 5th game in the regional final, you're just like who? You're just like, all right, who do we got available? Like that's the game plan on the mound. Who do we have available? Do we have a couple gritty guys who say they could maybe give us an inning or two? Like there's no game plan from a pitching perspective in Game 5 for the losers bracket team. Again, it's the 4th game for the winners bracket team because you've used everybody at that point. So it becomes very difficult to win a regional out of the losers bracket. Giving me nostalgia back to travel ball tournaments. Canes, come on. How hard is that? I'm assuming some big schools were after him. I know his high school is more known for putting out Nobel Peace Prizes and senators and congressmen. He shut down Miami. Buck, come on. How hard is that? Giving me nostalgia back to travel tournaments. So yeah, let's go to the weekend again, because these projections for the tournament, it's just like you can project all you want. It's almost never right. It always has Georgia Tech. And I will say last year, Georgia Tech went to Georgia. Georgia Tech still has a chance to be a host if they finish strong. But generally speaking, wherever Georgia Tech is projected to go in those projections, they never go there. It's always Tennessee, Vandy, or Florida. And now Georgia, with Georgia being a regional power, or power in the region now in the last couple of years, Georgia's one of those as well. But I do think it's great for turnout when you have like some like kind of rivalry teams in your regional, like Georgia Tech, for example. All right. Now, let's look rest of these. Auburn, Tennessee. This is, again, Auburn right now is a host, but they all of a sudden they lose this series. They're 500 in the SEC, and is a 500 team in the SEC going to get a host? We have to wait and find out. Oregon, again, D1 baseball, and we should have go over this, but D1 baseball right now has Oregon projected as the number 2 seed at an Oregon State regional after Oregon just beat them 4 straight games. Like, that's insane to me. Oregon State is, again, they get that just like lift in all the rankings. I'm not sure exactly why, but Oregon dominated them, 4 straight wins, right? Oregon State couldn't even win 1 game, but Oregon's still projected to go to Oregon State. I don't see that. I think Oregon has to be a host. They're the number 6 team in the country. How are they not a host? West Virginia right now projected to be a host, I believe, by D1 Baseball. They have to finish strong, though. They have to finish strong. There's not a lot of room for error. Like, you lose a couple series here, even if your record, let's say they go to 18-7, all of a sudden they may be out of hosting contention. Even though, I think like you have a really good record in the Big 12, you probably should be a host. But the SEC and ACC are taking up so many of the host spots. It's like if you're outside of those 2 conferences, like, you got to be really good to get a host. Louisville, Notre Dame. If Louisville wants to be a host, like, this is a series they got to win. Notre Dame only has 6 games left in conference, so they have to win this series and the next one to have any hopes in making the tournament. Alabama, Vandy, another really good SEC matchup. Both these teams 12-9. Oregon RPI is 27. They got to get that RPI around 16. But my point is this, Zach, like, I do not, and forgive me, But I do not understand how. I do not understand how like Oregon State's RPI is higher than Oregon. Like if you just look through Oregon State's schedule, it's like how is their RPI that hard or that not that hard, that high? I'm trying to pull up the RPI stuff right now. All right, so Oregon's RPI. Oregon is 9-1 against Q1 teams. Oregon is 9-1 against Q1 teams. Their strength of schedule is 48th. Their RPI is 27. Okay. All right, so let's look at Oregon State. Oregon State's strength of schedule is 54, 6 spots worse than Oregon. They're 7-7 against Q1 teams. Like basically what this is showing me, like the formula is showing me is that like if you just beat up on Q4 and Q3 teams, you'll have a high RPI. Like Oregon is 9-1 against Q1 teams. I just don't get how Oregon State's RPI is that high. And that's my whole problem with RPI in general is that there's just some teams when you look at it, you're just trying to figure out why is their RPI that high. And they just got swept in 4 games by Oregon. Dude, you hammer Oregon State on here daily. It's not that I my position has been this the whole time. I think Oregon State is a good team. I think it's a top 25 team. It's not a top 10 team. It should not be a regional host right now. That's my point. I just don't. I'm trying to figure out. Okay, I'm trying to see. Okay, maybe this is why. Why is Oregon State rated this high? And trying to find some kind of argument for why they're so highly ranked. Besides they have a good lineup or they have a good pitching staff, right? Because there's a lot of teams with good lineups and good pitching staffs that don't have a high RPI, and that has no impact. So why does Oregon State have a higher RPI than Oregon? They have a worse strength of schedule. They're 7-7 against Q1 teams. Oregon's 9-1, and Oregon has a six spots better strength of schedule. Only difference I can see is that Oregon State is 21-1 against Q4 and Q3, and Oregon is 15-2 and 17-9 against Q4 and Q3. Well, the problem is there's a lot of Q3 teams in the Big Ten, and so with Oregon being 14-7. They have so they're playing, and this is the other thing, is like not all Q3 teams are built the same. Not all Q4 teams are built the same. Oregon has definitely played better Q3 teams than Oregon State, but they're getting punished basically for playing in a conference and playing the upper echelon of Q3 teams. That's from my vantage point, that's what it looks like. Oregon State is overrated. Yeah, I mean that's kind of my only thing. I just think again they're ranked higher than they are. They're not as good a team as their rank says. Or maybe they are as good a team, but they got beat by Oregon 4 straight games. So I don't think so. But even if they were, there's nothing on their resume that proves that. There's nothing on the resume that proves it. That's what I don't get. Is the strength of schedule metric aggregate? The strength of schedule, I believe, is basically the combination of your opponent's wins and losses, like totaled up in aggregate. So yes, technically. And that's what makes it. So right now, strength of schedule, the highest strength of schedule is Auburn. Number 2 is... Where is number 2? Let's see strength of schedule rankings. Texas Tech is number 2 in strength of schedule. Yeah, so basically it's your opponent's win percentage, Dusty. In aggregate, your total of all the opponents you faced, it's their win percentage in aggregate. But yeah, so that's why for me, like RPI it's one metric, but it's like it definitely should not be taken as like the holy grail of college NCAA tournament like projection metrics. Because I don't think it's that good. All right, Georgia, Missouri. This should be a resume boosting weekend for Georgia. I mean, can Missouri win one game this year in the SEC? I don't know, but Georgia should win that. What's your prediction for Texas, Arkansas? I don't know. It's hard to predict against Texas right now. I mean, they're just beating everybody, and it's not by a little. So, and I'm going to go with Texas. You haven't seen any weakness from Texas all year. They've just dominated everybody in the SEC. Now, you want to talk about big weekend in terms of like hosting chances and everything is Miami, NC State. Both teams have 9 games less. NC State already just boosted up to 13 in the rankings. They're leading the ACC in record. And again, Miami is 12-9 now, and they're playing well. And you could legitimately see Miami sneak into a host here when 4 weeks ago, Canes and Zach were panicking. They were panicking, right? And me and Dusty have just been proven to kind of know what we're talking about. We know what we're talking about. We said at the beginning, Miami is better than people think. They're sitting at 12-9 in the ACC. We're gonna host, baby. Same. I got Texas winning the series 2-1. Yeah, I don't see them sweeping. I think Arkansas is too good, but it just seems like Texas has that factor of like they just find a way to win, kind of like Clemson in a way. So maybe this is the weekend where Texas gets swept. You know, we'll have to wait and see. Let's see some of these other ones. LSU, A&M. I mean, this is a big series for A&M. You got 9 games left. You're 5 games below 500. If you go 5-4 the rest of the way, you're probably in. So, I mean, Texas A&M cannot get swept. You cannot get swept. Even if you lose this series, you got to win the remaining ones, so that makes it really difficult. You probably would like to get a win. It's at home. That will help. But I don't know. I don't know if A&M... I just don't know. I mean, A&M, you felt like they had the mojo, but then against Texas, they got shut out. So we'll just have to wait and see. I think LSU wins this, though. I think LSU wins. Ole Miss, Oklahoma, another good SEC matchup. Like, Texas is 19-2 in the SEC. I mean, it's ridiculous. Another big series as far as potential hosts out of the Big 12. TCU was a host, I think, a week or two ago projected. They're not anymore. But this is a type of series that Arizona can solidify a potential host maybe, or TCU can get back in that consideration. UC Irvine just has to kind of run the rest of the table. You know, same thing we were talking about with Coastal. Irvine is pretty locked up for a regional host right now, but they can't get cold, right? They can't go on a Georgia Tech like 7-game loss streak, or they're going to be in trouble for hosting. And then UCLA, Southern Cal. Hey, dude, shout out to Southern Cal. 30-14, 14-7 in the Big Ten. Southern Cal is playing really well. Andy Stankwitz done a great job, like turning that program around pretty quickly. Shout out to Andy Stankwitz. Georgia Tech plays their non-conference weekend against Western Carolina. Again, I mean, this kind of has to be a sweep if you're going to host, because I just don't know what the RPI ramifications will be if you lose to Western Carolina. Western Carolina right now is 111th in RPI. So that would be a huge blow in RPI. But I will say this, and again, like, I'm not acting like I understand how the formula works. I definitely don't. But Georgia Tech finishes against Duke and Louisville, who are both playing really well. RPIs are kind of way better than they were halfway through the year. Let's see. Duke RPI is at 42, which is still, that kind of needs to be a little bit better. Louisville Louisville's at 23. So if you win the series against Louisville, that's going to be really big for RPI. Same thing with Duke. I came away really impressed with Virginia. I know it's not a huge hot take given their last 15 years, but I think you'll see them in Omaha yet again, despite the slow start. Yeah, man. I mean, I think they figured it out. The question is like, I think the only issue for Virginia. Virginia doesn't play anyone this weekend? Is that for real? Let me go check the schedule. All right, so the American East. Wow, that is weird. Yeah, they don't. How is that? How do they not have a team? I guess they played maybe some games early. I don't know. But yeah, that's strange, man. And I think the issue for Virginia, I don't disagree with Dusty's take. I think the thing for Virginia is that that missing that Florida State series is huge, and I think they have to finish really strong and make a good splash in the ACC tournament to get in, because missing that, they started out so bad, and then missing that Florida State series where who knows what would have happened. Maybe they can win that with how they're playing lately. It's just going to be a question of do they do enough at the end of this season to barely get in the tournament. See, of course, this weekend you want to win, but I don't think it's as massive as you're saying. Their hosting hopes hinge on their ACC record and ACC record only. They aren't going to get into the top 20 RPI. Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, I was kind of saying that. And by saying like they finish against Duke. If it'd be one thing if you finished against like Boston College, or and again, you've already played Cal and Stanford, and I do think that what is hurting Georgia Tech is they played Stanford and Cal when they weren't looked at as bad as they are now. And so now those series sweeps don't look as good. But you finish against Duke and Louisville, which again, if you win both those series, I think you're a host. But it's weird, man. I don't know. It's weird. Like 15-9 in the ACC is a really good record. You know, I mean, if you think about it, that's 18-12 in the ACC. If that's what the record stands at, you know. So it's just going to be interesting. But I do think one loss on the weekend against Western Carolina it does factor into the equation. Because I'm with you, Dusty. I think like if you finish at like 19-11 in the ACC, like you should be a host. UVA has 6 remaining against Miami and VT. If they go 4-2, win a couple in the ACC tournament, they are in 15-12. Yeah. I don't disagree. I'm just saying from what I'm seeing from projections, it's like look at Zach. What Zach's saying, Virginia's number 75 in RPI. They got to get into the 30s to make a regional, but they can always win the ACC tournament and get the automatic bid. If GT is 18-12, I still think it's a host. It's literally never not been. Yeah, I don't disagree. I'm just seeing some of these projections, and I'm like, I don't get it. Like Oregon State's projected to be a national seed, and they're getting like swept by Oregon in 4 games. UVA isn't going to beat us, Dusty. We have the best 1, 2, 3 in the ACC, and next year we have even better freshman arms coming in. It's crazy how Canes and Zach all of a sudden are like, dude, we're really good. You guys were like panic mode city like 3 weeks ago. I'm not saying that, Kyle. I'm not a believer yet. Okay. Man, that's what winning does. UVA's new weekend rotation are filthy. They're Saturday and Sunday guys. Yeah, I mean, like Brian O'Connor did what he said. He's like, if I'm not going to get the effort and the performance that I want, we'll find the guys that'll do it. And they've figured something out on the weekend. They had Virginia's. It seemed like every one of their pitchers had like a decent changeup. They could throw for strikes, like, and they just were around the plate with like low to mid 90s fastballs. Time to prove ourselves on the recruiting trail with this portal window in the 27th cycle in August. Beat North Carolina State and Virginia, and I will buy in. That's when I will know if JD and our operation is for real. What is Miami's ACC record if they finish losing both series? If they finish and if they lose 2 out of well, Miami is 12-9, so they have 3 series left. So let's just say they lost every series and they go 1-2, they would be 15-15. Like Miami is, if they don't get swept, their minimum record is 15-15. If they lose the next 2 series without getting swept, they're still 14-13. So I mean, Miami's in really good shape. They're in really good shape. Again, NC State and Virginia, it's going to be tough. Like NC State's playing ridiculously well. Virginia's playing really well. Miami has Canes or Zach. Tell us what you think, or who do you guys have to finish? I'll look it up here in the meantime. Notre Dame at home. Yeah, so and Notre Dame's playing better now. Notre Dame's at 10-14. So it's not going to be easy. 15-15, Miami doesn't get in. I think they do get in at 15-15. Yeah, if they go 4-5 the rest of the way, they're 16-14. (21-9). You guys are going 9-0 the rest of the way. This is Canes for you, man. It's like he's ready to fire a head coach 4 weeks ago, and now he thinks they're gonna go 9 straight wins. Clemson and FSU is a monster series, a huge series. Without a doubt. And I mean, honestly, like I'll be interested to see how Florida State does against Clemson. Yeah, I don't know, Dusty. It's weird. They just like don't have games this weekend. Is that a little bit of an oversight? I don't know how that even happens. I don't remember having a weekend where we didn't play. Notre Dame will take 2 of 3 from Miami, summoning the spirit of Lou Holtz and the 88 football team win. The spirit of Lou Holtz. I'm not gonna say anything I was gonna say. I'm assuming it's finals week, but it's strange as hell. Yeah, but like I don't remember having the weekend off for finals week. Did we get the weekend off for finals week, Dusty? I don't remember that. Their starters will have made 1 appearance in the month. Yeah, I mean, the one thing you can say is that UVA's arms are going to be fresh, and that may be too fresh. So that's something to monitor. Like they may be a little too fresh, right? It's one thing to get like a weekend off and like get your arms kind of a little bit more recovery, but when you played like one series in the last 3 weeks, that can create negative issue. That can create problems. Confirmed UVA's next game is May 7th against Towson. Look what you are typing. No, it's the non-conference series like this week, idiot. Yeah, dude, that's what I was saying. I remember we always had a non-conference weekend, but we never didn't play. So what happened? Why is Virginia not playing? Towson, easy money for Towson. Towson's head coach played with JD in Miami. JD is going to send him some stuff to make the game go longer. Canes, you're hilarious, man. Towson is 11-30, by the way. And like, that's a game. Like, the scary thing for Virginia is you lose a game to Towson, like, you're done. Their RPI gets shot so bad that they can't recover unless they win the ACC championship. All right, Ren. All right, Isaacs. I'm about to head out anyway. We got playoff baseball coming soon. Yeah, 6 scholarships for a 34-man roster is brutal. Yeah, it's. I mean, that's the reality at a lot of schools, man, that aren't like big time schools. Of the 300 plus schools with D1 baseball, how many are on ESA's radar where you are talking to guys about those schools? I mean, I don't want to say 100%, but basically 100%. I mean, we have guys all over the country. So like Murph, who's on here, you see he's in the Northeast. I mean, he's as well connected as it can possibly get in the Northeast. Obviously, you have me and my brother down here in the Southeast. We have Jeremy in the Midwest, and like Utah Jones down in Texas, kind of Oklahoma area. And so across the country, I mean, again, I don't want to never say like, oh yeah, we talk to 100 schools. I mean, really what we do, Buck, is we basically just say, all right, this is the level you're on right now. So these are the schools we're going to reach out to. And as you develop, depending on what part of the timeline you're in, everything like that, that's kind of how we roll typically. And we start with the schools where we think, all right, you're a fit right away, and go from there. GT goes 2 out of 3 versus Western Carolina, 2 out of 3 against Duke, and 2 out of 3 against Louisville. What says you? I think they're a host at that point, but I don't know. Because then, like, let's say that happens, and then the AC tournament they're one and done. What happens? See you later, Kyle. See you, White House. ACC should just play non-conference the first 4 weekends and then play conference weekends the rest of the way, like the SEC does. Yeah, I agree. What is the matchup today? 2 games versus Walker? Yeah, 4:30. First game 1 starts at 4:30, doubleheader, and then if we need a game 3, we go tomorrow. Come on, Murphy. New York, PA, New Jersey. We need them to remain Miami strongholds. But all right, guys, I gotta go. We got playoff games tonight. Wish me luck. I will see you guys. We got some games tonight, so I may do a stream tonight when I can later. So look out for that. Can't make any promises, but I think I will. And then definitely we'll be back tomorrow.